First of all, corporal punishment is not discipline. It is strictly child abuse. You have grown men hitting children as young as age 5 up through high school with a board, and that's child abuse. If it was done anywhere else besides on these schools, on a public sidewalk, anywhere else, they'd be arrested for a felony assault.
The Texas legislature.
It's a shame we have to come before you and ask for legislation to do something that the school district know is the right thing to do.
Bill author Representative Alma Allen has tried session after session to get the bill passed. Tuesday, the first public hearing on the issue.
I can't even go into a hearing for having this brought to an end because in school this is a teacher tool. But to walk in this building, it becomes a weapon.
Paula Flo flew in from California to testify.
Governor Perry wrote a 60-page Homeland Security report. And inside of that, you're saying we can't stop this?
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an LPN. I work for a kidney doctor.
Oh, so you're a nurse, basically.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever seen any kids who were beaten by their school teachers come to your hospital?
Yes, ma'am.
You have?
I have.
Have you seen bruises, bad bruises?
I have. Actually,
Your hands?
Yes,
Okay, and how often did that happen?
every day.
What grade were you when that first happened to you?
First grade,
Through what?
to the 9th grade when I quit school.
Why'd you quit school?
Because I felt like, hey, I was done wrong, cruelty, and I ain't gonna take that no more.
So you dropped out in 9th grade?
Yes, I did.
Wichita Falls student Tyler Anastopoulos knows what a paddle to the backside feels like.
I've been swatted by about 60, 70 times.
Chewing gum, one of the reasons Anastopoulos got the swatting. His mother says she has seen physical and psychological consequences.
Tell the teachers in Mississippi and all the other 50 states to stop abusing these young children. And tell them they can't be nothing.
Especially black males.
Yeah, because us black
Do you mind if I ask what type of, what do you have to use the...
Sticks for?
Yeah, what do you use the sticks for?
Cerebral palsy.
Oh, you have cerebral palsy. Okay. All right. And so that's something that you had even as a little boy, and you had to use the sticks even when you were a little boy then.
I was born with it.
So you were paddled even with the type of physical disability that you appear to have then?
Yes, ma'am.
We need to get rid of child abuse in Texas. Child abuse in this paddling in our schools not only is child abuse, but it promotes more child abuse at home. As parents see that it's okay in school to do it, they'll also do it at home. And we have a lot of child abuse in Texas. We have a lot of children ending up dead. We have children in Texas and throughout the U.S. that go to school, happy children. They're paddled. They come home and have nightmares. They have bedwetting. They're afraid to go to school. We have some children that end up in the emergency room, like little Tyler did the other day. He was in the hospital emergency room. We had a boy the other day in Mississippi. He was paddled. He blacked out and fell forward, broke his jaw, shattered his teeth. Now his mouth is all wired up, and he's gonna have to eat through a straw, for the next several weeks. That should not be happening in our schools. And thank goodness, 30 other states have taken the time to study this issue and see that it's harmful to children, it's harmful to schools, and they put away the paddles. Paddling not only is child abuse, but it also hurts the schools. It increases the dropout rates, lowers the test scores, makes the discipline worse, and it also increases vandalism. These are angry kids after you paddle them. And you have also some sadistic teachers. In my first year at school in 1961, I did some paddling because that was the method of discipline. But I started thinking, why are we doing this? We don't do this at home. And then I noticed other teachers getting some sadistic pleasure out of hitting kids. This bill was passed in Ohio last year, and it was one of the high marks of the governor's career there to get rid of paddling. If you get rid of this paddling now, and take the paddles out of our schools, this is going to be something you're going to remember for the rest of your life. You're going to be very proud of your vote for helping to reduce child abuse in Texas. I hope you'll do what's right for children, for Texas, for our schools. Get rid of the paddles. It's not going to cost the state one nickel. That ought to make Governor Perry very happy right there. But it's really a positive step. And it's I've got letters here from the former head of the National Coalition to Abolish Corporal Punishment. Another letter from the lady who was active with EPIC, which is ending physical punishment of children. And she talked about how the Governor Ted Strickland of Ohio found that getting rid of corporal punishment was a highlight in the governorship and enduring contribution in education in Ohio schools. I hope you'll do the right thing and get rid of the paddles in Texas. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. What is your name, young lady?
My name is Nancy Cadena.
Hey, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Are you a mom? Or are you?
Yes, ma'am. I have 2 kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old.
Do you know that down here in the Delta, teachers are allowed to beat school children?
I don't think it's right.
What would you do if they touch your little children?
I will go call the cops on them and try to take them to court.
Yeah. Have you ever been beaten in a Mississippi school?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Did they leave any bruises, or was it just a real light hit, or what?
It was bruises.
They left bruises?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You know, do you realize that we've spoken to a lot of people here who say that they believe in beating school children? What do you think about the people in this community who basically say kids need to be beaten? What do you think of that?
They need to be talked to by somebody, because I don't think it's right that they're giving everybody permission to beat on their kids at school. It's not right.
Right. How do you think that makes a little 5-year-old knowing that he could be beat, huh?
It's not good at all.
Yes. Okay, well, let me ask you something. Hold that booklet up that I just gave you. All right. Do you promise to read it?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, and I know you are not going to be a hitter, but there's some information in there, and I want to ask you one thing. If you see a parent who's beating their child, would you give them that booklet?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for not hitting your children.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Representative Alma Allen, I want to thank you for introducing the bill, not because it's primarily Black Americans who are beaten, or even Black girls who are pregnant and showing or wearing tampons are also beaten in our schools. Not only because of that, but because the whole thing is wrong, whether it's white, green, yellow kids, which, by the way, we have no statistics on Asian children or Middle Eastern children being beaten in this country, nor wealthy white children being beaten. In the state of Texas, 77% of the teachers are white, less than 10% are Black, and nearly half of the Black children are beaten. The fact that we allow this to our disadvantaged and special needs children is a disgrace, and that we are the last industrialized democratic nation on the planet to still allow it speaks volumes and points at perhaps this is institutionalized racism. And the issue that we have a substitute bill. Representative Alma Allen felt compelled to create a substitute bill because she doesn't think that her peers will vote for a bill that would actually set all the children free from this scourge. She doesn't want a bill that gives a parent permission to beat have a teacher beat the child, but she's afraid that you all, many of you who are have passed the Bar Association, many of you are lawyers, you all know what assault and battery means. I tried to walk in with my wooden paddle and I was told, that's a weapon, you cannot come in here with that.
Yes, what would you want Benny Thompson, Congressman Benny Thompson, to change?
And help our school just like he helped other schools, because tell him, I be seeing him on TV that he goes to help our other school. Tell him please to come to Shaka County and help our school.
And what's the name of this town?
Shaka County, Anguilla, Mississippi.
Anguilla, Mississippi, in Sharkey County. Anguilla, Sharkey County, Mississippi, United States of America. I have a special message to United States Congressman Benny Thompson. You've heard from your constituents here. We would want you to direct immediate federal aid in the assistance of your congressional offices throughout the Delta District to do something immediately to help out with the problem of poverty, of lack of failing schools, and unresponsive local, state, and federal governments. We can do something, Congressman. You can contact me. I'm Democratic State Committeeman Brian Hickenbottom. Contact me at 601-594-3712. Again, that number is 601-594-3712. You can also contact the USM Center for Human Rights because they do dispatch other young people eager to assist these people here in the local on-site. We are on-site right here in Sharkey County, Mississippi, and we are committed to making a change, and we're partnering with the Hitting Stops here and other human rights organizations. Contact me, contact my offices, contact our organizations. We can help. There is no reason that in 2011 that our people have to be displaced, mistreated, and treated worse than animals in the United States of America. I truly say, let freedom reign. Thank you.
Kids, it's not my problem. They're just some kids up there in Anguilla, but we've got to start facing the fact that we all have a stake in public education. We all have a stake in what's happening to the kids all across the state.
If you had one thing to say to Governor Barber, of course he's not here today, but you had one thing to say to him in regards to corporal punishment, what would that be?
I wish I could speak to him because I believe that he's way on behind and he's way out of the loop when it comes to education. I don't know what he's doing for education, but if you don't want progress, if you're not getting rid of corporal punishment, then you're against progress, because corporal punishment is banned in the top 100 performing schools in this country. It's banned in most of the state, all but 19 of the states. Corporal punishment is banned. We in Mississippi are among the last remaining schools that still use this ineffective, brutal practice. And I don't want to be, when I get out there next year to become a teacher, you better not put a pedal in my hand, because you are insulting me as a person, because I'm not capable of hitting children. And you are insulting my intelligence, because everything I'm learning at the University of Southern Mississippi goes against the idea of physical force on children.
And who's accountable for this? Key question.
Yes, I want to place responsibility and accountability on all kinds of people. Of course, the lawmakers have a lot to do with it, because Haley Barbour could end this today with a moratorium, and he could force the Congress to look at it, the legislator to look at this issue and to ban it. He could force that. He could put a stop today to the kids and save thousands of school children across the state. Also, I want to place blame on the administrators. Of course, they can ban it in their schools, but they don't. They are standing in the way of progress for those new teachers like me who know there are better ways, but we cannot implement them because the administrators stand in the way. Also, I want to place blame on the, also of course the parents, and us for, why do you let this happen to your children? And also I want to place blame on the University of Southern Mississippi and other education programs across this nation. You're teaching us all this good stuff, but you've got to come out there and make some statements. If you truly care about the education of the children in the state, you've got to hold some press conferences. You've got to do more than just try to teach us, because we teachers, new teachers going out there, and we can't change this. We're going out there and we're facing this system. We need some backing from the professors, from those people with doctorate degrees. You've got to come out there and back us up.
If you had to sum up today's event, the marching, making a stand out here today, how would you do so in a sentence or two?
What I've seen here today is children and parents who truly want a better education, a better future And what they've done is they've come all the way down here from Anguilla, Mississippi to make their voices heard. Because this is Jackson, Mississippi, and this is where it happens. If it's going to change, it's going to happen here. It's going to have to, because the schools aren't doing anything. So I see people coming down here, and it inspires me that they would come this way to make their voices heard and cry out for a better future for their children.
And do you plan on having more marches, doing more protests?
Yes, we will have to. I mean, there's no other choice. We have to continue to push this, put this in the front of the faces of the people of Mississippi until they wake up and say, there's something wrong. We've been left, our state is ignorant, has been left behind, while the other states and the other education systems in the country are moving forward.
Can I ask a question? I know I asked you before, but how effective, sometimes we see people come out here and they do the marches or whatnot, and they get started and then it ends. How many more marches and protests do you think you'll need to have?
Well, count on seeing us again. We haven't planned the next one yet, but as people, as communities start waking up and start saying that this is wrong, this is from the slavery days. This paddle was used on slaves so that they could be beaten, and yet it wouldn't cause as much bruises, so they wouldn't decrease their market value. This paddle needs to go the way of the clansman's noose and the slave driver's whip. This has got to go, and so we're gonna have to keep doing what we're doing. It's hard work, but this is the only way things change. The only way people wake up is by us doing what we're doing today.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks
for reporting on this.
Thank you.
I'm going to speak right now just to the one issue about the racial disparity of corporal punishment in the schools, because this is something that simply cannot be denied. And first I want to explain how the Department of Education keeps these statistics, because it's critical to understand how it is that we arrive at these statistics. First of all, the Department of Education says that probably the statistics are underrepresented of the number of beatings taking place in the schools. So you can bank on the fact that whatever we do have is, if anything, it underreports how many beatings are taking place. But this is the key to me. First, when a child is beaten in school, they are reported for that school year one time. They are not reported again, no matter how many times they are hit during that academic year. So if a particular child is hit one time or 100 times, it's reported as one incident with the Department of Education. Okay, now keep that in mind when we talk about who's getting hit in schools, because there's been a lot of research on who are the kids, who's being hit. Well, the clearest indication is kids who are poor are getting hit. Kids in the poor rural school districts are the ones getting hit, not so much in the urban districts. But we know for a fact that black children are hit disproportionately. One study showed that black boys are 16 times more likely to be hit in schools than white girls.
I wish they could stop hitting me.
Yeah. Boys are hit more than girls, and black children are hit more than white children.
You paddled last year in 8th grade. A lot, or a little bit.
When you start crunching these statistics, what you have is situations in which particular black boys are hit so frequently that they drop out of school.
I think that those beatings have impacted your life.
If they had never done nothing like that and explain things to me right and things like that, without hit me, trying to punish me like that and things like that, I think I would have finished school.
Oh, really?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happens to them? Where are they going to go? What would you do? What bothers me the most, I think, about these statistics is that the kids who are being hit in school are the kids who are already from troubled homes. These are the kids our government should be taking care of. These are the kids our government should show concern for, our government should nurture, our government should help, and they're not doing that.